What's up, guys? Brent Hess here with Cagezilla Unchained, brought to you by the Wild Style Network. We are here with an exciting lightweight who will be in our #1 contender lightweight fight here coming up on Cagezilla84, April 26th. George Spanakis, how you doing, my man? Thank you for joining us.
And thank you, sir. Appreciate you guys for having me here.
Yeah, of course, of course. Let's get right into it, man. Give our Cagezilla Unchained fans a way that they can kind of get to know you a little bit. Give us a little bit of your background, your upbringing, and kind of what led to this point in your MMA journey.
Yeah, so I've been training since I was like 13. I've always was exposed kind of to martial arts at a young age. My dad put me in Kempo karate. And I did that for a while. I stopped doing that when I was younger, got back into it around, my teenage years. And then I did that for about 8 years. But towards the end of that journey, I started to realize that if I wanted, to be really good at defending myself, because that was ultimately, the reason why I started doing martial arts. If I wanted to be really good at it, I had to expand my knowledge and go to other teachers and learn new things. So I ended up going to the school that I'm currently at now, York MMA. I've been there with them now for about 8 years. I went there with a goal in mind to, eventually fight in MMA, but I knew that I had no grappling at all. My grappling was, so I was like, I told my coach straight up, like, I need to learn how to grapple. And at some point, I want to fight. So at the time I had decent striking, wasn't anything crazy, but it was, better than the average. And, since then they exposed me to jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. And I just dedicated pretty much all my time that I could have at the time into that. And since then it's just been, consistency over everything. So I've just been doing as much as I can to get as much training in as I can.
Yeah, man. No, GS3, guys. Make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for them. For you, where did you get that fight name? Or is that just a play off of GSP?
Nah, hell no. That's actually my name. It's actually my name. So the G for George or Georgios, S for Spanakis, and I'm actually the third in my family. So that's
wow.
Yeah. So a good friend of mine back in high school, we were trying to figure out my name once I eventually fought, and I had no idea what name, what nickname to find. And so he was like, just make it your name, GS3. And I'm like, yo, that's perfect. And I'm like,
that fits right in there for it, man, because there's that it's nice, short, and sweet. Well, hey, man, your last fight at Cagezilla83, super impressive. There are quite a few lightweights that really showed out that night, and you were one of them for sure. I mean, the fight was only 20 seconds. It was one of the weirder stoppages I've seen, ever, really. Because I mean, you scrambled his marbles with that left hook, I think, and it was like almost like he wanted to continue fighting, but his body wasn't working with him. You knocked his equilibrium way off. He was up against the cage, kind of like the cage holding him up. You added a couple punches in there for good measure. What was that experience like, getting your first big stoppage there in your career under the bright lights of Cagezilla?
Yeah, so first of all, huge respect to my opponent at that time, Harrison. I knew he was a very dangerous guy. He came from a very dangerous gym where they have a lot of, good athletes and good fighters, professional fighters, top of the level guys. So for me to do that to a guy at that level, I think that speaks volumes. And I knew I was capable of that for a long time, so I just, at some point it was bound to happen for me, so I truly believe that, I'm on my way, if I'm not there already, to being an elite fighter. So it's one of my major life goals to have. So yeah, it was a crazy experience. It was a check left hook, and it was actually 15 seconds that the fight, was technically ended when the ref stepped in.
Yeah.
It was right on the 15-second mark, but the promotion didn't see that, which is cool. I'm not worried about it, but it was 15. So Yeah, he rushed in. He was throwing a few shots. I was trying to feel him out, and he kicked me in my groin right away. I was like, oh gosh, man.
Oh,
And I was originally in southpaw. Then after he kicked me, I switched back into orthodox, and because I wanted to, get him on a guessing game of where I was gonna be. And then he threw a jab at me, and then he calf kicked me, and then after I settled back in on the calf kick, I threw a fake teep, and I seen he was loading up with the right, so I covered up. I deflected the first right. I seen the second right was coming in, and after he threw that second right, I seen him drop levels for the takedown, and he exposed his head to me. And so I took it, a lead leg, took the angle as I stepped out, and then I seen that I caught him around his tempo. I felt it, and it was weird because it looked like the fence was electrocuting him almost. But
right.
he was definitely like in a weird unconscious state, and
Yeah.
I just went and I just followed up the shots until the ref split us up. So it was just, everything was just so fast. I didn't think about any of it. It just all happened.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember a couple people looking at me because I was commentating that fight,
Yeah.
and they were like, "What? What was that? What
Yeah.
hit Harrison?"
It was just
And
fast.
and when I looked at it on the replay, I was almost positive it was that check left hook, and that's sure enough what it was, because it was like light. It was right on the temple, lightning fast, and like I said, that was a good comparison. It looked like the fence was electrocuting him because
Yeah.
he was like on the fence, but he couldn't move.
Yeah.
And it was, man, you followed up with some follow up punches, but they weren't necessarily needed, I don't think, right? But in the words of Jorge Masvidal, it's super necessary until the ref pulls you off. But no, I mean, one of the weirder stoppages, but definitely some very slick striking on your end. And man, you made it look easy, and that was one that really opened my eyes, because that was the first fight of yours that I had commentated before, and I was like, man, this is gonna be a kid to watch right here. That's awesome, man. And that of course is leading you into this number one contender lightweight fight here against Dustin Callender from Ground Control in Baltimore, Maryland. He comes from a great lineage, a great gym there as well. Tell us, what, if anything, do you know about Dustin or his team heading into this super intriguing number one lightweight fight?
Yeah, so I seen that he's from Ground Control. I know a few guys from there. I've trained with them, through cross training before. Huge respect for that gym. They're a very good gym. Huge respect to my opponent as well. I know he's another dangerous guy. He's very strong. He likes to swing a lot. He's definitely game for a fight. So that's why it's a big challenge for me, because I haven't, I faced every opponent that I faced was very challenging in their own unique way, but I haven't really faced an aggressive type opponent like him. According from his past fights, he really likes to swing, and he likes to stand right in front of you and just, pretty much just bang, honestly. So that's what I like too. So I like the challenge for sure. He's going to be a tough opponent. But I truly am confident that my striking is much superior than his, even though he has much more power than I do. I'll give him that, but I do believe that I'll be more accurate and more precise than him.
Awesome, man. I'm definitely looking forward to this one, and looking forward to seeing you back inside the Cagezilla cage, man. Whenever we get a chance to watch that, I think it's going to be something exciting. Now, throwing you a couple questions from our fan zone here. It's something new we're doing. Just kind of getting some of the online polls and things like that, and young athletes who look up to you guys. Just have some questions for you, and maybe you can kind of give them some info that could possibly help them. The first question here: what does a typical training day look like for you when you're in camp and leading up to a fight?
Yeah, so I Before I used to like really go hard on myself with the training camps. So I work a full-time job, some fighters do, some fighters don't, but I have a family that I have to support. So I have to work a full-time job. So with me sometimes, and there's been other camps that I've done this camp has been a little bit more different. But in past camps where I'll go ahead and I'll train in the morning, I'll get like an hour session before I go into work, and then do my work, and then I have about an hour or two after work, and then I'll train the rest of the night, and then that process just kept repeating every day. But now, over the quantity, I've been looking at the quality of my training workouts. So I've been just dedicating myself more to my night trainings, where I'll get good anywhere between 2 and 3.5 hour training sessions, where it's just good quality work, with a lot of the good guys that I train with.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it sounds like you get it in both in the morning, maybe 2 a days, right? And
Yeah.
so
I've definitely been on 2 a days, sometimes even 3 a days.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And second question, who are some of your favorite fighters to watch, to possibly, pick up some of their style to maybe bring into your game a little bit?
Yeah, so there's quite a few. Definitely in my top right now. I would have to say, even though he just lost, I would have to say Alex Pereira, just because of how good his striking is. I think he's a master at what he does, but everybody's not always going to be perfect in the cage. So I've been there. I have days where I was not myself in the cage, knowing I could beat that dude, but things happen.
Yeah.
So he's definitely one of my top for striking, for sure.
You definitely picked up that left hook from him. I mean, that left hook, that check left hook, man, that was like vintage Pereira right there.
Yeah, for sure. Him. I love the grappling of the Dagestanis. So he and Islam and all them. I love watching them. But and Israel Adesanya was like, he was my top dog for a while. And then once I found out about Alex Pereira, I was like, I like them both a lot. They're very good strikers. And that's butter. I love striking. I love grappling too. I'm very much a student to that still. But yeah, it's an ever learning game.
That's right. Yeah. And all fights start on the feet. So that gives you, they gotta start with you on the feet at some point. Nice, man. Well, finish off here. I like to always kind of collect a quote or a motto, or something that kind of maybe you've read or your coaches shared with you, or something that has empowered you, that you can kind of pass along to our Cagezilla audience here.
Yeah. So, if you can't already tell by my name, I'm Greek. So I'm Greek and Puerto Rican. But I got a quote that pretty much I made up to make me feel, to always have confidence within myself. And it's on my arm here. I have it tattooed. And I'll say it in Greek and then I'll say it in English. In Greek, it's "Δεν φοβάμαι κανέναν." And in English, that translates to "fear no man."
Okay. Very nice. Say it in Greek again.
"Δεν φοβάμαι κανέναν."
Okay. Fear no man. I like that. That's nice. And you're Greek.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
man. That's awesome, man. That's great. Yeah. I love Greek food. Well, hey, man, give us a way. I think you got a super bright future. Give us a way, George, that we can follow you, show you a little love online, maybe some of your social medias, if you want to give out your teams as well. We would love to show you guys some love.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow mine. My IG is at GS3BJJ, and then my team's is at York MMA Academy, I believe. If not, then you can find it on my page. It'll be there.
Cool. All right, George. Well, hey, thank you, man. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to come on here. And I hope training and everything continues to go awesome for you, and you stay healthy in the next couple weeks here leading up to Cagezilla84. And my man, thanks once again for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
All right, guys. There you have it. George Spanakis in our huge #1 contender lightweight fight here coming up. He's an exciting fighter that you don't want to miss. Make sure you guys are picking up tickets at CagezillaTickets.com. Until next time, we'll see you guys all very soon. Much love and respect. Signing off.